I should probably confess something before we go any further. I absolutely love the movie Jaws. And I know that may sound strange, considering it's about a giant shark terrorizing a summer beach town, but for me, Jaws has somehow become a comfort movie. Maybe it's the setting, the small coastal town, the summer crowds, the beaches and boats and weathered docks. Maybe it's the mix of suspense, humor, music, and unforgettable characters. Or maybe it's simply one of those films that becomes familiar enough to feel like returning to a place you know, even if that place happens to have a very large problem swimming beneath the surface. But whatever the reason, when I think of summer movies, Jaws is one of the first that comes to mind. What fascinates me the most is not only the shark, but it's the way the film changed the feeling of water itself. Because after Jaws, the ocean was still beautiful, still bright, still inviting. But it also carried a new question beneath every wave. What if something was down there? For many people, summer means beaches, sunburned shoulders, sand in their towels, coolers packed with sandwiches and melting ice, children running toward the surf, lifeguard whistles, umbrellas snapping in the wind, the glittering line where sunlight breaks across the waves. The ocean itself can feel like joy. Wide, bright, endless. Place where summer opens its arms and asks us to step in. But the ocean is also one of the oldest mysteries on earth because no matter how beautiful the surface may be, there's always something beneath it that we can't see. A drop off, a current, a shadow, a sudden movement below our feet. And once we imagine something moving under the water, summer changes. The beach is still bright, the sky is still blue, the waves still roll gently toward the shore. But now, some part of us is listening for the music, watching for the fin, waiting for the shape beneath the surface. Welcome to The Hollow Between, a podcast of folklore, ghost stories, and the uncanny. I'm Candace, and tonight, beside the lantern light, I have a story for you. So settle in with a blanket and a cup of something warm, because tonight we are stepping into the summer fear beneath the waves. And later, beside the lantern light, I'll share an original story called The Last Swim at Mercy Beach. A brief content note before we begin. Tonight's episode discusses shark attacks, ocean danger, fictional drowning, and frightening situations involving deep water. We won't linger on anything too graphic, but the subject matter does include fear, loss, and danger beneath the waves. So, with that said, let's go down to the shore. When we think of summer horror, one image rises almost immediately: a beach town, a crowded shoreline, a blue sky, children splashing in the shallows, a long holiday weekend. And somewhere beyond all that brightness, something moving beneath the water. That may be one reason Jaws has remained so powerful in the imagination. It did not invent our fear of the ocean. Human beings feared deep water long before cinema existed. But it gave that fear a shape: a fin cutting through the waves, an empty stretch of beach, a shadow passing beneath the swimmer, a town that wants summer to continue even when the water itself has become dangerous. The genius of that fear is its simplicity. You don't have to believe in ghosts. You don't have to believe in monsters. You only have to understand that when you step into the ocean, you're entering a world that does not belong to you. A world where you can't see everything. A world where something may see you first. That fear is ancient. Long before movie screens, people told stories about what lived beneath the waves. Sea serpents, monstrous fish, drowned cities, water spirits, creatures large enough to overturn boats or pull swimmers below. And some of these stories may have grown from glimpses of real animals: whales, giant squid, oarfish, sharks, manatees, seals seen strangely in fog or moonlight. Others may have grown from something less literal and more human: the knowledge that water takes things and does not always give them back. The ocean has always carried a double meaning. It's life, travel, food, beauty, escape, but it's also depth, distance, storm, disappearance. A person can stand on the shore and look at something gorgeous, endless, and deadly all at once. That contradiction is where folklore thrives, because the surface of the water offers comfort. The depth offers mystery. And mystery, when it moves, becomes fear. There's also something uniquely unsettling about not being able to see beneath ourselves. In a forest, fear often comes from what might be behind the trees. In a haunted house, from what might be behind a door. But in the ocean, fear can come from directly below. Our body knows this. Even in calm water, on a beautiful day, there's a moment when the sand drops away and our feet no longer touch the bottom. Suddenly, we're suspended, held up by something immense. We look back toward the shore and realize we are much farther out than we thought. The people on the beach are smaller. The voices are distant. The water is colder. And beneath us, there is space. Too much space. That feeling does not require a monster. It doesn't require a shark. It only requires depth. Because deep water reminds us of our limits. We are not built for it. We can visit. We can float. We can swim for a while. But we do not belong there the way other things belong there. The ocean does not have to be cruel to be dangerous. It only has to be itself. Of course, the fear of sharks is complicated. Sharks are real animals, not villains. They're ancient, powerful, and important to the ocean's balance. Most of the time, they have no real interest in us at all. And yet, culturally, sharks have become one of the great symbols of unseen danger. Part of that comes from their bodies. The shape, the movement, the sudden appearance of a fin. The fact that they can pass beneath us without being noticed. But part of it also comes from story. Once a fear becomes a story, it changes the way we see the world. A log in the water becomes suspicious. A shadow becomes a possibility. A school of fish scattering near the surface becomes a warning. A piece of music, barely imagined, begins to play in the back of our mind. That is the power of summer horror. It doesn't necessarily keep us out of the water, but it comes in with us. Jaws became more than a film because it attached itself to a seasonal ritual. People were already going to beaches, already swimming in the ocean, already trusting the surface. Then came a story that suggested the safest, brightest, most ordinary summer day could become dangerous in an instant. That's why it feels almost folkloric now. It belongs to repetition. People return to it year after year. They quote it. They reference it. They parody it. They watch it in summer. They hum the idea of it before stepping into deep water. Even people who have never seen the film often know what it means. A fin, a beach, a warning ignored, a town pretending everything is fine, a body of water that no longer feels safe. And like many powerful horror stories, it changed the landscape around it. Not physically, the ocean remained the ocean, but imaginatively, it placed a shadow beneath the waves. And once that shadow was there, it was difficult to unsee. Fear beneath Jaws is not only fear of sharks, it's also fear of denial, fear of warning signs ignored, fear of people choosing comfort over truth, fear of a community so dependent on summer that it can't admit summer has become dangerous. And that's what makes the story so enduring. The monster is in the water, yes, but the dread begins on land, with people arguing, minimizing, explaining things away, telling themselves one more day will be fine, one more swim, one more weekend, one more summer. Folklore often works the same way. A warning is given, a rule is known, a place has a reputation, but someone dismisses it. Someone laughs, someone says it'll be fine. Then the story teaches the rule again, and the next person remembers. Don't go into the woods after dark. Don't answer the knock. Don't follow the voice. Do not swim after the foghorn. Beach towns are perfect places for this kind of story because they change with the season. In winter, they're quiet. Boarded windows, empty rentals, closed ice cream shops, sand blown across parking lots. But in summer, they transform. Lights switch on, vacancy signs glow, the boardwalks fill, children carry plastic buckets, teenagers work concession stands, families rent the same houses year after year. Everyone arrives with the same expectation. This will be a beautiful week. That expectation has power. It becomes part of the place. A beach town depends on summer joy, on safety, on the belief that the water is inviting. So when something goes wrong there, the disruption feels almost sacrilegious. The beach is not supposed to be haunted. The ocean is not supposed to answer. The waves are not supposed to bring back voices. And yet, in story after story, water refuses to remain only beautiful. It remembers shipwrecks. It hides bones. It carries names. It returns things changed by salt and time. Sometimes it keeps what falls into it. And sometimes, in folklore, it calls others to follow. Maybe that's why stories of dangerous water stay with us. They take a place of pleasure and reveal the mystery beneath it. They ask us to consider how little we know about what moves below the surface. They remind us that summer is not always innocent, that brightness can cast shadows, that laughter can disappear quickly over water, and that the line between swimming and vanishing may be thinner than we want to believe. The beach is a threshold, the land behind us, the ocean ahead, one world we understand, and there's another that does not need us at all. Most of the time, we step across that threshold and return safely, sunburned, salt-haired, happy. But every old warning exists because someone once imagined not returning. So, draw a little closer to the lantern light. Tonight's story begins in a summer beach town where the water was always considered safe, until a boy vanished after the foghorn sounded. Everyone said it was a drowning. Everyone said the tide took him, but his sister has never been certain, because that night, just before he disappeared, he told her he had heard someone calling from beneath the waves. Tonight's story is called The Last Swim at Mercy Beach. Annabelle was 13 the summer her brother disappeared. Micah was 17. old enough to think he was immortal, but young enough that Anna almost believed him. Their family had been coming to Mercy Beach every August for as long as Anna could remember. They rented the same gray cottage on Sandpiper Lane, the one with the crooked porch steps, the outdoor shower, and the kitchen cabinets that smelled faintly of cedar no matter how many times the owner painted them. Their mother kept a stack of beach towels by the back door. Their father woke early to walk the shoreline before anyone else was awake. Micah slept late, ate cereal from a mixing bowl, and complained loudly about family traditions while secretly keeping all of them. Anna adored her brother. That was the simplest truth of her childhood. She adored his confidence, his jokes, the way he could skip stones farther than anyone, the way he acted embarrassed when she followed him, but always slowed enough for her to catch up. Mercy Beach had been their place. The arcade with the broken pirate game, the ice cream shop with sea glass jars in the window, the boardwalk where Micah once spent $12 trying to win her a stuffed shark and finally handed her a crooked blue one with eyes sewn lower than the other. The lighthouse at the north end of town, the foghorn that sounded when evening weather rolled in, and the water, always the water. By day, it was green-blue and glittering, but by night, it turned black. There was only one rule at Mercy Beach that everyone seemed to know: no swimming after the foghorn. It was printed on signs near the lifeguard stands. It was repeated by rental owners. It was said by parents from porches and motel balconies. No swimming after the foghorn. Most people treated it like ordinary beach safety. When fog came in, visibility dropped. The tide changed. The water cooled. It was easy to lose direction, easy to drift beyond the lights. But locals said it differently. Not dramatically, not like a ghost story, just with a certain finality. No swimming after the foghorn, as if the rule was older than the signs, as if it had once meant something else. Micah made fun of it, of course. He called it the sacred law of beach dads. He saluted the lifeguard stand whenever they passed. He claimed the foghorn was just the ocean telling everyone to go buy fudge. Anna laughed because Micah wanted her to, but she never liked the sound. Long, low, mournful. A voice made of metal and weather calling across the water. On their last night at Mercy Beach, a storm was moving somewhere offshore. Not close enough to bring rain yet, but close enough to change the air. The sky had turned a strange, bruised purple after sunset, and the waves came in heavier than they had all week. Their parents had gone to dinner with friends from the next cottage. Micah wanted to walk down to the beach. Anna went with him because she always went with him. They bought fries from the boardwalk and ate them from a paper basket while sitting on the seawall. The beach below was nearly empty. A few people walked at the edge of the surf. A couple took pictures near the pier. Lights glowed from restaurants behind them. And far out, beyond the last visible lines of waves, the water darkened into something that felt endless. Then the foghorn sounded, low and long, deep enough to vibrate through the concrete beneath Anna's legs. Micah held one fry in the air like a toast. "There it is," he said, "the ocean curfew." Anna rolled her eyes, but below them, the few remaining swimmers began walking toward shore, one by one, as if called in. The fog came slowly at first, a pale ribbon moving low over the water, then more. It softened the lights and blurred the pier, turning the dark ocean into something shapeless. Micah grew quiet. Anna looked at him. "What?" He was staring at the water. "Do you hear that?" he asked. "The horn?" "No," he said. Anna listened. She heard waves and wind, a gull crying somewhere near the trash cans. "What?" she said. Micah stood. "Someone's calling." Anna felt suddenly very cold. "Who?" she asked. But Micah didn't answer. He stepped down from the seawall onto the sand. "Micah!" He looked back at her, and for the first time that night, he wasn't smiling. "It sounds like Dad." Their father was at dinner 3 blocks away. Anna slid off the seawall. "No, it doesn't." But Micah turned back toward the water. The fog had thickened, and the shoreline looked farther away than it should have. "Micah, don't!" He kicked off his sandals. Anna grabbed his arm. He pulled free, not harshly, but absently, as though brushing away a towel. "Wait here," he said. "No, I'm just going to check," he said. "You can't swim after the foghorn." That made him smile faintly. "Since when do you care about rules?" "Since now." Micah looked at her then, really looked at her, and for a moment something uncertain crossed his face. Then from the fog, out beyond the first break of waves, a voice called. "Micah," was their father's voice. Clear, frightened, impossible. Micah's expression changed. He turned and ran into the water. Anna screamed his name. The water struck Micah's knees, then his waist, then his chest. The fog swallowed him in pieces. First his legs, then his torso, then the pale shape of his shirt, then the back of his head. For 1 second, Anna saw his arm rise above the water, not waving, but reaching. Then something moved behind him. Not a wave, not a swimmer, but a fin that cut through the fog-dark water, tall and black against the pale mist. It moved with terrible smoothness. No splashing, no hurry, just a clean line through the surf, turning toward Micah as though it had known exactly where he would be. Anna stopped screaming, and for 1 strange second, the beach went silent. Even the gulls and the wind. Then the water around Micah lifted. Not high, but only enough to show the curve of something large passing beneath him. It was gray-black, pale on the underside. A body too long to belong so close to shore. Micah turned toward it, or toward the voice coming from beyond it. Anna saw his face once. It was confused, but almost smiling. Then the foghorn sounded again, low and long and mournful. The fin vanished. The water folded inward, and Micah was gone. People came running. A man from the pier, a woman from the restaurant patio, a teenager in an arcade uniform. Someone called 911. Someone held Anna back when she tried to run into the surf. She fought them hard, and she bit someone's hand. She screamed that her brother was out there, that something had come for him, that their father had called them from the water. But when their parents arrived, soaked in restaurant light and panic, her father was dry. He was alive. He had never left the table at the restaurant. The search for Micah lasted all night. Boats moved through the fog with lights sweeping across the waves. Divers went in at dawn. The Coast Guard came. Volunteers walked the beach for miles. They found Micah's sandals near the seawall. They found the paper basket of fries turned over in the sand. They found the crooked blue stuffed shark Anna had dropped when she ran for help. But they did not find Micah. Not that night. Not the next morning. Not ever. The official report said drowning. The town said tragedy. Anna said something had been in the water. No one knew what to do with that, so they did nothing. 21 years passed before Anna returned to Mercy Beach. She hadn't planned to. She had built a careful life far inland, in a city where the largest body of water was a man-made reservoir with paddle boats and warning signs about algae. She became a physical therapist. She married briefly, divorced quietly, kept a framed photograph of Micah on a bookshelf where she could see it every morning and pretend that looking at it was the same as forgiving herself. Then her father died. Her mother called 2 weeks after the funeral and said she wanted to sell the cottage. Not because they needed the money, but because she could not bear owning it anymore. Anna understood. She didn't want to go back, but someone had to collect the boxes in the attic. The old beach chairs, the photo albums, the chipped mugs, the towels no one had used since the summer Micah disappeared. So in late August, Anna drove to Mercy Beach. The town looked almost the same. That was the terrible part. The ice cream shop still had sea glass jars in the window. The arcade was still there, though the pirate game had finally been replaced. The boardwalk still smelled like popcorn, sunscreen, and old wood baked by the sun. Children still shrieked at the edge of the surf. Families still dragged coolers across the sand. Teenagers still walked in clusters, sunburned and careless. And the ocean still glittered as though it had never taken anything from anyone. Anna parked outside the gray cottage on Sandpiper Lane and sat in the car for nearly 10 minutes. The porch steps were still crooked. The outdoor shower still leaned slightly to the left. A gull stood on the roof peak and screamed down at her as if offended by her return. Anna laughed once. It came out wrong. Inside, the cottage smelled like closed windows and cedar cabinets. Her mother had left boxes stacked in the hallway. Anna worked until evening. She wrapped mugs in newspaper, folded the old towels, threw away expired sunscreen from a bathroom cabinet. In the attic, she found a cardboard box labeled Beach, written in her mother's careful handwriting. Inside were faded photos, shells in plastic bags, a cracked pail, and a blue stuffed shark with one eye sewn lower than the other. Anna sat back on her heels. For a moment, she was 13 again, holding that ridiculous prize while Micah bowed like he had won her a crown. She pressed the shark to her chest and cried, for the first time since the funeral. Outside, very far away, the foghorn sounded. Anna froze. The sound rolled through the cottage. Low, long, mournful. Her skin prickled. She checked the time. 8:17 p.m. The windows had darkened, and she hadn't realized how late it was. The foghorn sounded again. Anna stood slowly, still holding the stuffed shark. For 21 years, she had imagined that sound only in her dreams. Now it filled the little cottage as if no time had passed at all. She walked to the front window. Fog had moved in from the water, thick and pale, slipping between the cottages, softening porch lights, swallowing the end of Sandpiper Lane. No swimming after the foghorn. Anna set the shark on the table. Then someone knocked on the door, and she jumped. The sound came again. 3 polite taps. For one wild second, she thought of Micah. Then she saw the shape through the glass. A woman stood on the porch wearing a yellow raincoat. Not yellow like sunshine, but yellow like storm gear. Practical. Local. Anna opened the door as far as the chain allowed. The woman was in her 70s with silver hair tucked beneath the hood of her coat. "You're the bell girl," she said. Anna's throat tightened. "Yes, I'm Anna." The woman nodded. "I'm Ruth Calloway. I live 2 cottages down. I knew your parents." Of course she did. Everyone in Mercy Beach knew everyone's tragedy. "I'm sorry," Ruth said, "about your father." "Thank you," Anna said. Ruth looked past her toward the boxes. "You selling?" "My mother is." "That's probably wise," Ruth said. Anna almost shut the door. Then Ruth said, "Fog's in early tonight." Anna looked toward the street. "I heard the horn." Ruth's expression changed slightly. "That's why I came by." "Why?" Anna asked. "To make sure you remembered the rule." Anna stared at her. Ruth's eyes were steady. "No swimming after the foghorn." Anna gave a short, humorless laugh. "I'm not 13 anymore." "No," Ruth said, "but the water doesn't care how old you are." Anna's hand tightened on the door. "What does that mean?" Ruth looked toward the fog where the streetlights glowed in blurred halos. "Your brother wasn't the first." Anna stopped breathing. Ruth seemed to regret the words immediately. "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that." Yes, Anna said. You should have. Ruth sighed. The rule is older than the signs, older than the lifeguard stands. My grandmother told it to me when I was small. When the foghorn sounds, you come in from the water. She paused. And you don't answer anything you hear after. Anna felt the room tilt. Anything? Not your name, not a cry for help, not someone you love. Anna thought of Micah running into the surf, of their father's impossible voice drifting over the water. Why? Anna asked. Ruth looked toward the fog. Because sometimes things come closer in the fog. Anna waited. Ruth's mouth tightened. My grandmother called it the gray shape. Some people called it the old fish. Others wouldn't call it anything at all. They said giving it a name was another kind of invitation. That sounds like a story people tell children. It is, Ruth said. She looked back at her. But stories told to children are not always untrue. Anna did not sleep that night. She sat at the kitchen table with every light in the cottage turned on while the fog pressed against the windows. The horn sounded every few minutes. Each time her body tightened, and each time she saw Micah running into the water. Around midnight, the power flickered. Anna stood. No, she whispered. The lights steadied, and outside something moved on the porch. A soft scrape, then another. She picked up her phone, and there was no signal. Of course, she muttered. The old horror of it, the ridiculousness, the inevitability. Then from outside the cottage, someone said, Anna? It was her brother's voice. Not 17, not exactly. A little older, as he would have sounded now. 38, the age he should have been. Anna covered her mouth, and the voice came again, softly. Anna, it's cold. She backed away from the door. No. I tried to come back, it said. Her eyes filled with tears. The foghorn sounded again, low and long. I'm right here, Micah said. The doorknob turned only a little. Anna stepped back until she hit the kitchen counter. Then she heard Ruth's voice from 2 cottages down, sharp as a thrown stone. Don't answer it. Then silence. Then Micah laughed. Not cruelly, almost sadly. You always did listen to other people. Anna squeezed her eyes shut, and the porch boards creaked. The voice lowered. I called Dad, you know. Anna opened her eyes. What? The moment the word left her mouth, the cottage went silent. She had answered. Nothing happened. Not immediately. No hand through the door, no face at the window, no sudden darkness, only silence, and that was almost worse. Anna stood in the kitchen with her heart pounding and realized the house seemed to be listening. The foghorn did not sound again. Outside, the porch boards creaked once, then the footsteps retreated, down the steps, across the sand-dusted walk, and toward the beach. Anna waited until she could breathe, then she opened the door. Ruth was already outside, standing in the fog with a flashlight in one hand. Her face went pale when she saw Anna. What did you do? Anna could not answer. From the direction of the water, Micah's voice called again. Not from the porch, from the beach. Anna? Ruth grabbed her arm. Get inside, now. But Anna pulled free. I have to know. You know enough, Ruth said. No, Anna's voice broke. I don't. Ruth looked toward the beach. The fog moved in slow folds between the cottages. You won't find him out there. Then what will I find? Ruth's mouth tightened. The thing that took him. That should have stopped Anna, but it didn't. She ran toward the beach. The fog swallowed the boardwalk. It swallowed the closed ice cream shop. It swallowed the benches, the trash cans, the lifeguard stand, and the warning signs. By the time Anna reached the sand, Mercy Beach had become almost featureless. Only the sound of waves told her where the ocean began. Micah, she shouted. Her voice vanished into the fog. For several seconds, there was no answer. Then, "Annie?" No one had called her that since childhood. She walked toward the water. The sand was cold under her bare feet. She did not remember removing her shoes. The tide breathed in and out, and a pale shape appeared near the surf. At first, Anna thought it was Micah. Tall, thin, 17, white shirt dark with water, hair plastered to his forehead. Her grief moved faster than reason. Then the shape shifted. Not like a person stepping forward, like a reflection breaking apart, and behind it, something moved beneath the water. Anna saw the fin first, a dark triangle rising through the fog, then the smooth gray curve of a back, too large and too close. It passed behind the figure in the surf, and the figure seemed to blur as though made of mist and memory. Anna could hear Micah's voice, "Annie." But now she understood. The voice was not coming from the boy at the waterline. It was coming from the water behind him, from the thing moving just below the surface. The creature turned slowly. The fin disappeared. For a moment, there was only water. Then a pale shape opened beneath the waves. A mouth, wide and white, almost luminous in the dark. Anna stepped backward, and the thing beneath the surf gave Micah's voice again, soft and pleading and perfect. "I've been waiting so long." The foghorn sounded, and the creature flinched. The false shape of Micah flickered, and for 1 second Anna saw what stood before her clearly. Not her brother, not his ghost, but a memory, worn like bait. The water surged toward shore, and Anna turned and ran. The beach stretched longer than it should have, and every step sank too deep. The fog shifted around her, opening onto places that were not Mercy Beach. A pier she didn't recognize. A rowboat overturned in the moonlight. A woman in a bathing cap standing waist-deep in the black water. A little boy carrying a red bucket and crying without sound. Voices rose from every direction. "Anna, Annie, sweetheart, help me. Over here. Don't leave me." Some were Micah. Some were her father. Some were voices she didn't know. All of them sounded lonely. All of them sounded cold. Ahead, a flashlight beam cut through the fog. Ruth stood near the lifeguard stand. "This way," she shouted. Anna ran toward her, and behind her, something surged in the surf. Water rushed forward though the tide was going out, and a fin cut briefly through the fog. Then it vanished. Ruth grabbed Anna by both shoulders and pulled her behind the lifeguard stand just as a wave swept up the beach, black with foam and full of whispering. The water stopped inches from Anna's feet, then slid back slowly, reluctantly. The foghorn sounded again. This time, it sounded almost angry. By morning, the fog was gone. Mercy Beach looked ordinary, embarrassingly ordinary. Sunlight on the waves, gulls fighting over trash, joggers on the shoreline, a child building a sandcastle near the water as if nothing in the world had ever been dangerous. Anna sat on Ruth Calloway's porch wrapped in a blanket, a mug of coffee untouched in her hands. Ruth sat beside her. Neither spoke for a long time. Finally, Anna said, "What was it?" Ruth watched the waves. "I don't know." "How can you not know?" Anna asked. "Because knowing a rule isn't the same as knowing why it works." Anna looked at her, and Ruth sighed. "My grandmother said it comes in with the fog. Not every time, not every summer, but enough that people learn to listen for the horn." Anna stared at the water. "Is it a shark?" Ruth was quiet. "Maybe once." Anna thought of the dark fin, the gray back, the pale mouth opening beneath the water, the shape too long and too smooth to belong so close to shore. What does that mean? Ruth looked toward the horizon. Things live a long time in deep water. Anna thought of Micah's voice, not quite alive, not quite memory, but used and repeated, perfected. And the voices? Ruth didn't answer at first. Then she said, "The ocean keeps many things." And that was answer enough. Anna sold the cottage before the end of September. She packed everything. She almost threw the shark away, but then couldn't. On her last evening at Mercy Beach, she walked to the seawall. The ocean was calm, no fog, no storm. Children played in the last light of day. A lifeguard dragged a rescue board toward the stand. Everything smelled like salt, sunscreen, and summer ending. Anna stood there until the sun touched the horizon. Then she heard a boy laugh. She turned sharply. Near the edge of the boardwalk, a little boy held his mother's hand and carried a stuffed shark under one arm. Anna's breath caught. The boy looked at her. For a second, she thought he would speak, but instead he lifted one small hand and waved. The gesture was so familiar that Anna nearly broke. Then his mother led him away. The foghorn sounded once, not a warning this time. The sky was clear. The water was calm. Anna looked toward the ocean, and far out, beyond the swimmers, beyond the glittering path of sunset, something moved beneath the surface. A shadow, a line, a shape too long to be a wave. For one breath, a dark fin rose beyond the break of water. Then it vanished. Anna waited until the sound faded completely. Then she turned and walked inland, and she didn't look back. Mercy Beach remains a summer town. Every August, families arrive with coolers, umbrellas, folding chairs, and children eager to run toward the water. The ice cream shop still keeps sea glass in the window. The arcade still flashes in the evenings. The lighthouse still turns its beam across the waves. And the sign remains posted beside every lifeguard stand. No swimming after the foghorn. Most people obey them. Most never ask why. But sometimes, when fog rolls in early and the beach empties faster than expected, visitors claim they see something moving beyond the break of waves. A fin, a shadow, a long gray body passing beneath the surface. Something too large to be so close to shore. And sometimes they hear voices. A father calling a child, a mother calling her daughter, a brother calling from just beyond the surf. The voices are always familiar, always close, always almost enough to follow. And those who know Mercy Beach best will tell you the same thing. When the foghorn sounds, come in from the water. Do not wait. Do not look for whoever is calling. And if someone you love speaks from beneath the waves, remember that the ocean keeps many things. Names, bodies, voices. And sometimes, if something beneath the surface has listened long enough, it learns exactly how to call you back. Perhaps that's what makes summer water so powerful in our imaginations. It can be beautiful and dangerous at the same time. The ocean does not have to change for our understanding of it to change. One moment, it's all sunlight on waves. The next is depth, shadow, movement beneath the surface. A place where sound carries strangely and distance becomes difficult to measure. A place that can look calm while keeping its own secrets. Stories like this remind us that summer has always had another side. Behind the bright towels and boardwalk lights, behind the laughter and the salt air, there's an older awareness. That water is not empty just because we can't see what moves through it. That a warning does not need to explain itself in order to matter. That sometimes the safest thing we can do is listen when a place tells us to leave. So, the next time you stand at the edge of the ocean and watch the evening fog roll in, perhaps you'll remember Mercy Beach, the darkening water, the long voice of the foghorn, the rule everyone knew, even if they did not know why. And if the beach is emptying, If the waves have gone quiet, if someone you love seems to call from just beyond the surf, do not answer. Just come in from the water. Please send your stories to thehollowbetween@gmail.com. Perhaps your story might be shared here beside the lantern light. And if you've been enjoying The Hollow Between, I would be so grateful if you followed the podcast and shared it with someone who loves folklore, ghost stories, and the uncanny as much as we do. Word of mouth truly helps keep little lanterns like this burning and helps this strange little community continue to grow. Thank you so much for spending this evening with me, friends. And until next time, mind the hollow between. While some of the films, fears, and folklore discussed in tonight's episode are part of popular culture and maritime imagination, the featured narrative was created for The Hollow Between.